Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. All right, guys. We got another update for you guys on this Melodee Buzzard case. Ashlee Buzzard, the mother who pretty much knows where Melodee is at and refuses to cooperate with law enforcement, refuses to speak to media, just radio silence from her. Recently, she was charged with unlawful imprisonment, kidnapping, etc., but those charges were dropped. Today, we're going to be reacting to, who's this lady? My brain just went crazy. Ashlee Banfield. I love Ashlee Banfield. You guys know I'm a big fan of hers, but for some reason, maybe it's because early morning my brain just went blank. Anyway, we're reacting to Ashlee Banfield. She's actually going to interview the guy who made these allegations against Melodee Buzzard's mother, Ashlee. This is going to be a very interesting interview. I have not seen it for myself, but I did have my personal feelings about this story when I first heard it. I said, you know, this doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's like being contrived so that they can find an excuse to arrest her and put some pressure onto her. I just did not feel that, Melodee's mother, Ashlee, actually kidnapped this guy. Then we heard the audio recording that Ashlee Buzzard made, and basically didn't sound like a kidnapping. Didn't sound like a kidnapping to me. And apparently it didn't sound like a kidnapping to the judge either, because the judge dismissed all cases, right? So now she has no active criminal cases right now. The only thing that we're back to square one. Where is Melodee Buzzard, right? So we got a few things we want to jump into before we do a reaction to that interview. We're going to catch up on the fact that it looks like Ashlee Buzzard is moving out of that house. There's been a U-Haul, there's boxes, all that stuff. Ashlee Banfield is going to bring us up to speed on that one. Then when we're done with that, we'll go over to that interview that Ashlee Banfield did with Ashlee Buzzard. There's two Ashleys, was confusing me. But with Ashlee Buzzard's accuser, or former accuser, because now we know that has been adjudicated and it has been left lacking. A crime was not committed according to our criminal justice system. So let's keep going. Let's jump into this.
Buzzard likes to travel. And now that she's free of that ankle monitor that she had to wear because of that false imprisonment charge last week, she's free to move about the country. But you would imagine that she'd stay put in her home, given her 9-year-old daughter, Melodee Buzzard, is missing, right? Maybe not. Because tonight we have new and exclusive video. You're looking at it. This is Ashlee loading up moving boxes and appliances into a U-Haul truck and then driving away from the family's home in Lompoc, California. She's still got her little boots and her purse slung on her arm, her wig in a ponytail. Her daughter Melodee hasn't been seen in 43 days now, and she's the reason that Ashlee's every move is now being watched, and not just by us. Our source tells us that as soon as Ashlee left in that U-Haul truck today, wearing her signature wig and booties, the detectives and/or federal agents, quote, flipped.
She said signature wig and booties. Ashlee Banfield is not playing, bro. Signature wig and booties. And then she called it before that little boots.
U-turn and tailed her. We don't know where she went in that U-Haul, but we do know she returned home. That happened later. She was in an Uber. And it goes without saying that we're going to keep watching.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
My question is, where's she getting all this money from? Because she doesn't have a job, but yet she has enough money to rent cars. And listen, U-Hauls aren't that expensive. I mean, you could get a U-Haul. You just go a couple miles within town. You could get one for like 40, 50 bucks. Home Depot will let you get their version of U-Haul for like $30, right? So that's not really expensive, but like she's constantly taking Ubers, she's constantly renting cars and taking them very, very, very far. So that's a lot of money. If you're going out of state, you're going to multiple states, putting hundreds of miles on a rental car. It's a lot of money. And listen, man, she seems to not be without money. Mind you, she's renting a house by herself. So I don't know if it's disability, like Aki said. I don't know if it's welfare. I don't know if she has a sugar daddy, like somebody else said, Social Security. I don't know. But there's a lot of money that she's shelling out lately. And I'm just curious. Somebody, Adam said that it could be because the father passed away, because it's possible that she's getting a Social Security check for Melodee based off of the fact that the father died. And then she has her own disability, so maybe she's collecting for herself and for her daughter. All right, maybe this actually explains it, but it's still a question I have. Until I have, these are all theories that we're throwing out there. Until I have a definitive answer as to where that money's coming from, I'm still going to ask that question, because she has a lot of disposable income to throw around on things. And here's what it is. Guys, it's going to be a smaller show than we usually do, because this is not as much of a popular topic as when we talk about celebrities like David and the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case and all that stuff. So I'm really going to ask for the people who are deciding to join us today to help us give a voice to Melodee Buzzard. Please hit that like button so that we could at least attempt to show the algorithm that this is worthy of being shown to a wider audience. All right. So we do appreciate if you'd at least hit that like button to help us, because it's going to be a much smaller show than we usually do. Let's keep going.
In the search for 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard, that little girl from California, who now, as of November 24th, has been missing for 46 days. And when I say big breaking news, I mean I have a lot of new information on this case, exclusive information straight from the source. Melodee.
All right, so we're about to get started with the reaction to this guy who, basically was the one who made these allegations against her. Let's do it.
Hasn't been seen since October 9th. She was spotted on surveillance video with her mom, Ashlee Buzzard. And the very next day, Ashlee Buzzard came home from that road trip she took. She came home to Lompoc, California alone. No Melodee, no explanation. And for a month and a half, she has refused to give investigators a straight answer about where her daughter is. And since then, she's been packing boxes and moving things out of their home and acting really erratically when anybody asks about Melodee, like Tyler Brewer, like he did. A friend of Ashlee's and a local paralegal who has visited her 5 times in the first week of November. He says he wanted to help in the search for this little missing girl, or failing that, he wanted to learn what had happened to Melodee Buzzard, and that he did. When he says Ashlee confided in him where she left Melodee and with whom. That last meeting that he had with Ashlee Buzzard was on November 6th. But as soon as she revealed that information to him, Tyler Brewer says Ashlee turned confrontational, pulled a box cutter, and refused to let him leave that home. This led to an arrest of Ashlee, but then a dismissal of the charges against her. Her ankle monitor was then promptly removed, and no sooner did that happen than Ashlee began packing more boxes and appliances into a U-Haul truck.
Now, sometimes it's difficult to talk about these cases. Like, I'm trying to let you guys get a peek into my brain, and people may not agree with me, and that's okay. All right. We don't do the show for people to agree with me anyway. I'm saying my opinion, and you guys are giving me your opinion in the chat, and you guys are very intelligent, so I always like hearing from you. But I like to fashion myself a realist, a person that lives in reality. Melodee is gone. We don't know where she's at. She could be missing. She could be deceased. We don't know what's happening with Melodee. Ashlee Buzzard was just arrested on what I believe to be false charges. Now I think we're gonna listen to the whole interaction a little bit later. I think we have that. But what I heard that was basically put out there for the courts and what the news reported on it, we reacted to the snippet of the audio that was played in court. That was not a kidnapping. That was just a human interaction. So why did I stop the show? The point of what I want to say is the fact that she's moving does not mean anything to me. Like, I don't think that this is salacious. I don't think that this is probative. I don't think that this is an admission of guilt. We know she's guilty because she's the last person guilty of something, whether it's murder, negligence, trafficking, whatever. She's guilty of something because she was the last one to be with her daughter. But her moving to me is not like, oh, she's a horrible person, she's moving. Her daughter's missing and she's moving. Why wouldn't she move? There are people outside of her house every single day, as they should be. I'm not saying they shouldn't be there, but I'm looking at it from every side. That's how I'm trained to do, to look at these things from every angle. There's people outside of her house every single day. Whenever we watch Long Crime, Court TV, etc., we see Brian Enton outside of her house in the middle of the night. It's like 10, 11 o'clock in the night. Brian Enton is out there with big lights from his cameraman talking about, I think she's on the other side of the house because I don't see any lights in the front of the house. Like, bro, of course she's going to move. And then lastly, a person that she thought was a friend or whatever, she let him in her house, and then he ended up cooperating with the police in cahoots with them and got her falsely arrested because that was not something she should have been arrested for. She should be arrested for whatever she did to Melodee. We'll figure that out eventually. She wasn't supposed to be arrested for what this guy, this Brian guy, whatever his name is, alleged she did. Of course she's going to move. So to me, this is not probative, but let's keep going though.
She has not been charged, nor has she been arrested in her daughter's missing case. But she seems to be under constant surveillance, which brings me back to Tyler Brewer and what Ashlee Buzzard said to him.
Yeah, his name is not Brian, my fault. It's Tyler Brewer. Let's keep going.
In that confrontational...
But I meant when I said Brian Enton, that guy, he's the reporter guy. He was outside her house in the middle of the night, but then accidentally called Tyler Brian. So you guys know what I'm saying. Let's keep going.
Moment inside her home when she revealed sensitive information about her daughter's whereabouts. Earlier on my News Nation show, shout out News Nation, I talked to Tyler about the things Ashlee told him, about the disturbing things that he observed with his own eyes inside Ashlee's house, and about the reference that Ashlee made to Casey Anthony. I have all that for you in just a moment. First, a quick thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making this podcast possible. Thank you also to my sponsors who make this possible. And Masa Chips has joined my team.
All right, so we're going to fast forward this because we can't watch the Masa Chips. They're not sponsoring this show.
With Tyler Brewer, and holy bejesus, did he have some jaw?
Of course, Masa Chips, if you'd like to sponsor this show, we will happily take your sponsorship, but that ain't happening right now.
Dropping details about Ashlee Buzzard, what she said about Melodee, and the haunting, weird stuff that is in her home.
Mr. Brewer, thank you so much for being on with me. I have been looking so forward to speaking with you. First and foremost, I do not believe what the judge said, that you were not threatened. I heard you clearly articulating, could I please leave? I want to leave this premises now.
All right, so I disagree. I disagree when I initially heard Ashlee Banfield talking about this, and I disagree with her now. Still love you, Ashlee, but I totally disagree with you. I don't know if she's saying this just to kiss up to this guy because she got an exclusive and she's playing mind games with him. But she said it before she even did this interview. So I think that's her position. I think she's 100% wrong. It is what it is. Second of all, this guy looks weird. And, you know, I'm not making fun of him. When I look at somebody, I look at the total package. And he definitely looks like looks like something's up with this guy. Let's keep going.
Personally believe anybody who is free to leave doesn't say those things. They just say, I'm leaving. So I disagreed.
And then he's coming to talk about Melodee Buzzard, right? And his interaction with a possible killer, alleged possible killer, possible trafficker, or possible negligent mother who just gave her children off to random people, whatever. What does he have here? Right, and I'm happy that News Nation has this lower third banner down here so big. I don't know if they did that on purpose. But it's a huge lower third banner. What does he have on? Self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen. Self-promotion. Self-promotion. He has on a shirt advertising his business. I'm very suspicious of this guy, but I'm going to keep an open mind. I could talk crap like this and then change my mind later. That's how I'm trained. I'm a detective. Nothing I say stick. Everything follows only the evidence. But so far, I'm very suspicious of this guy. Let's keep going.
With what the judge said. That aside, I am absolutely transfixed by this encounter that you had with Ashlee Buzzard and what she told you about where she took and left her daughter. Can you tell me that information?
Yes, ma'am. It's actually, the whole events with Ashlee is one giant blur of craziness. I don't know of any other way to explain it. In short, she ended up going on a road trip at the instructions of individuals that she barely even knows. And I question if she even knows them really at all.
All right, I'm gonna bring it back so I can hear him in its entirety because I was reading the chat. And I'm going to address the chat real quick, and then I'm going to let this guy speak because I really want to hear what he has to say. So Joanna Hamilton says she locked him in her house and threatened him with a box cutter. To me, she threatened him. She needs to be locked up. And she's very upset. She says, you are wrong, point blank. All right, Joanna, we respect your opinion. I appreciate you for disagreeing. So my question to you, Joanna, is at what point did you testify at her hearing? Since you're an eyewitness to what happened. I'm just saying. Because in my 19 years of law enforcement experience, 15 years as an investigator, somebody like you would have to have been sworn in and would have to have testified. So did you see that box cutter with your own eyes? What was the color of the box cutter? How big was it? Where did she pull it out? What hand was it in? What pocket did she take it out? These are the questions that the prosecutor or the defense would ask you. Oh, you weren't there. So all the information you have to believe that is what he said. But he gave that information to a judge. And you know what else we got? Was a recording from Ashlee Buzzard that let you hear the interaction that they had with each other. At what point in that recording did he say, why do you have that box cutter in your hand? Can you put the box cutter down? Can you put the knife down so we can talk like adults? Wouldn't an average person make mention, whether they know that they're being recorded or not? It'd just be a human thing to do to address the fact that the person has a weapon in their hand. Well, wouldn't we expect somebody to say, hey, can you put that knife down or something like that? Did you hear that in that recording? I didn't hear the whole recording, so maybe I'm wrong. But the recording I heard, which is what the news played, did not say anything like that. So now you're acting like you were a witness, an eyewitness, and you saw it with your own eyes. And number two, you're also saying that you're more qualified to make this decision than the judge. You're more qualified to make that decision than the judge. All right, well, Joanna, man, we welcome to the community. We appreciate your expertise. Let's keep going.
Other way to explain it. In short, she ended up going on a road trip at the instructions of individuals that she barely even knows, and I question if she even knows them really at all, in efforts to drop Melodee off with them, apparently some location in Utah. She had said that it was a couple that she met at a zoo. This couple had a daughter that's Melodee's age that she wanted Melodee to be able to play with. But she doesn't know these people's names, their address, their phone number, their location, nothing. It's bizarre. It makes no sense.
Okay.
It particularly makes no sense that Ashlee Buzzard would say, I don't know this couple that I met at the zoo. I don't know their names. I don't know their address. I don't know their contact information, when apparently she was making contact with them. And can you describe what she said about the contact she made with them and how the plan kept changing about the drop-off of Melodee?
She wouldn't go into too much details because she was very paranoid that the house is bugged, and she still wasn't really trusting me that much, as we discovered on that Thursday that she decided to confront me, or whatever you would want to call it. She didn't make it clear of how she communicated, especially when she was saying she didn't have accurate phone numbers for them. She also didn't make it clear. She said that she knew the woman's name of the couple, and that she looked on white pages and verified that there was someone by that name listed on the white pages. Okay, well, if someone's called John Doe, there's probably 20 John Does throughout the nation. So,
I mean, it definitely sounds, if this is the conversation that they had, remember, this is his recollection of conversation. We don't know how true it is. I'm inclined to believe him. I certainly am not a supporter of Ashlee Buzzard, But she definitely sounds like she's mentally deranged if this is the conversation that they're having. And this is, you know, her recollection to him as to what she did with her daughter. But let's keep going.
So it's the fact that she trusted and believed some stranger that she randomly met at a zoo to care for her daughter, and trusted what she said was true without checking ID, without checking where she lives, without going to the house, without verifying where Melodee was going to be sleeping. It's just mind-boggling for me. And
well, to say the least, without getting a contact phone number to call her back. And again, I'm still perplexed by the details, Mr. Brewer, about, and I think, you correct me if I'm wrong here, that Ashlee Buzzard said to you that this woman kept changing the drop-off details, kept changing the plan. Is that true?
Exactly. And that's why she ended up in Nebraska and all these different places, because they kept changing. Was like, oh, no, meet us here. No, meet us here. Then meet us maybe Utah, wherever she ended up.
Right. So, you know, hearing this story, this recollection of their conversation, if this holds true, if it holds true, and believe me, I'm not sure, because once you fool me once, you can't fool me again. And like I said, what I heard on that audio was not a kidnapping. It was a stretch of a kidnapping. Now, Aki believes that he was kidnapped. Aki's in the camp of the Joanna lady. She in the side chat mad at me. Well, we had a difference of opinion, you know, because I know what I heard and I know what flies in court, and what I believe is what the judge believes. So maybe Aki should go run for a judgeship herself too. Judge Aki, because she know better than the judge as well. But if this is true, what he's saying, and I got to tell you, because of her charges being dropped and me not hearing a kidnapping or unlawful imprisonment inside of that house, so I'm a little iffy on his credibility. But if what he's saying is true, I'm going to tell you what my intuition tells me from the story she's allegedly telling him. We got a homicide. That's the type of story somebody would tell when they're trying to cover up the fact that they ended somebody's life. That's what my intuition is telling me. I have no proof of it. No proof. No evidence. Just my intuition. Just my intuition. I think we got a homicide. Let's keep going.
With Melodee was the final drop-off. So they kept changing it because apparently this couple, this individual, this whoever was paranoid of the government and being followed and spied on. So they wanted to make sure that if Ashlee was being tracked, then it would be harder for them to be tracked, changing all these different locations. And I know how weird and bizarre this sounds, but this is just the information that I was provided. And whether it's true or not, this is what she relayed to me.
I mean, that's a whole other question, whether what she told you is true. It sounds so manic. And also, how is she communicating with a woman multiple times to change drop-off locations if she suddenly says, I have no means of communicating with said woman?
And she said that she originally had a phone number for them and she no longer has it because they ended up either disconnecting it, or it was a text now number or something similar. And she was told that when she got home, Melodee would start calling her. And it's been, 45, 50 days and still no phone call as of November 6th.
And that was the plan, to be clear, that this couple, again, that Ashlee Buzzard told you she met them at a zoo and made this plan to drop her 9-year-old daughter off with them. And that they'd have a daily contact with Melodee. Did she say why? What was the whole purpose of getting rid of her daughter to this mystery couple in the first place?
All right, so that's a good question. I'm going to stop it right here for just a second, just to acknowledge the chat. Guys, please hit that like button. We have over 200 people watching this live stream right now with only 100 likes. We do need that so we can get into the algorithm. And big shout out to David, one of my moderators, been with me for a very, very, very long time. Hope the family is well. How's the wife, David? We are happy to see you again here. All right, let's keep going.
without going into too much detail with her medical history, she had an outpatient, so she has a surgery coming up. And the surgery, after she told me what it is, it's an outpatient surgery that you're going to be out for the day. It's nothing. But in her mind, it's something that Melodee needs to be away from her for at least a month or two, an effort for Ashlee to do the surgeries, the medical care, and get back on her feet so she could take care of Melodee. So her excuse for it just makes no sense either. Because, again, the medical procedure in which she's claiming that she needs to have done, it's an outpatient surgery that, you know, I've had done myself. So it's not something that she needs to be out for a month for.
And she admitted to you that she was changing her license plates all along the route to this drop-off of her daughter with this couple.
You know, the thing about that is I had brought up something about the license plate because I had seen the report. And my license plates, I was trying not to let it in public, but they decided to announce in the middle of court that my license plates is from Oklahoma. So I go back and forth between California and Oklahoma. So I had said, you know, oh, California is required to have two plates, one in the front and one in the back. I go, I'm surprised I haven't got pulled over yet. So she went on to tell me about this website I can go on to order fake plates that look real so I can switch them out without being noticed.
So she informed you how to switch plates, but did she also confirm that she had switched her plates on that trip?
Yeah, she even mentioned that she has done it in the past. She didn't specify it was for that trip. She went on to tell me about this website I can go on to order fake.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Like I said, my daughter just called me, that's why I muted the my chat, or muted my voice rather. I want to go back a little bit so I can get a little context to what he said because I missed it. And big shout out to Access Mommy with a $3 super chat. We appreciate you.
One in the back. I go, I'm surprised I haven't got pulled over yet. So she went on to tell me about this website I can go on to order fake plates that look real so I can switch them out without being noticed.
So she informed you how to switch plates, but did she also confirm that she had switched her plates on that trip?
Yeah, she even mentioned that she has done it in the past. She didn't specify it was for that trip. But she had said her friend had told her about it, which she was applying, referring to the friend that has Melodee.
Okay, so there's another report, and I'm hoping you can corroborate this. There was a report from a private investigator who said that Ashlee Buzzard had been cutting the faces of Melodee out of the missing persons posters, and you have been inside her home. What did you witness in her home?
So she didn't cut the faces out. So, I mean, that was either a miscommunication. So she took the photos out of the missing persons photo, the poster boards that people made, and she has them lined on her couch. They're all on her couch, and then she has a body pillow with Melodee's hoodie and pants on it, like dressed like Melodee, and that's what's on her couch. So she basically has like a little shrine to Melodee on her couch.
And the photos, you're saying she lifted the photos off of the missing persons poster so that she could arrange those things on her sofa?
Yeah.
Wow, this is definitely some delusional stuff, man. Like, honestly, like she is severely mentally ill. I think what they need to do, the problem is she's not exhibiting any behavior that shows that she's a danger to herself. And this is a big thing in America because we believe in freedom, right? So we just don't grab people off the street, snatch them off the street, and then throw them into institutions or throw them into jail. Now, I do believe that they probably should have some type of recourse in the law, like a child endangerment or something, to charge her and to get her locked up because she won't disclose the location of Melodee, right? And Melodee has already been identified as a person who is in danger, right? You can't just go to parents like, where's your kid at? Oh, you don't want to tell me? I'm going to lock you up. But when the police and the state has identified your child as endangered, then they do have certain leeway to pressure you to give them information, such as where's the child located? give us the location of the child so we could do a wellness check. Otherwise, we'll lock you up. I'm not sure why California has not availed themselves of that, unless California has removed that type of ability from their penal code. It's possible. It's 100% possible, because California is a different animal. So maybe they're like, oh no, this is not nice. Because everything in California is about what's nice. This is not nice. We're going to remove this from our penal code because it might hurt somebody's feelings. So I don't know. I have no idea, right? But I got to say that if she was to exhibit odd behavior that one could construe as a danger to herself and the general public, I think she needs to be institutionalized. I think after she's institutionalized and stable, we might have a better chance of her just willingly divulging where Melodee is. I think a lot of this secrecy and this lack of cooperation is because she's not being treated right now. She's in the full swing of her delusions, and she's just in another world. She's not present with us. She can interact with our world, but her world is clouded with conspiracy, with paranoia, and with delusion. We got to get her stabilized. And once she's stabilized, I think she's probably going to be like, oh my God, what did I do? Or, oh my God, this is where my daughter's at, or whatever. We got to get this lady into some type of help. Otherwise, we're not going to find Melodee the easy way. We're going to find her eventually, but we're not going to find her the easy way, if that makes sense.
What you're showing now, that's what she did. She ripped those down, and they're all on her sofa.
But she didn't cut them as if to deface them. She wanted the pictures off of those boards.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, they were not to be defaced.
And they're lined up on her sofa?
Lined up on her sofa, yes, ma'am.
And again, next to a body pillow that is dressed in Melodee's clothing?
Yes, it's one of those pillows that you put behind your back.
Wow.
So it's not the long body pillows, but it's one that goes behind your back, and it has Melodee's orange hoodie on it. And at one point in time, it had like a pair of pants on it. It was very strange. And I asked her like why she has the hoodie on the pillow, and she said it's because she misses Melodee.
That's weird.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that.
And
there was, I remember on the, go ahead.
I'm sorry, because I spoke to other people too, and they had told me that sounds like a shrine or memorial that people do. And when I was sitting there, that didn't cross my mind. I didn't even think that initially, but now looking back on it, it's extremely creepy and concerning. And I apologize.
Now, because she was already charged, this is my big issue with the charging her with the fake kidnapping. It's very technical. See, it's the thing. Like, you know what you know. So when they charged her with that fake kidnapping, guess what happened? Guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Let me go to the chat. She's been charged with a crime now. What happens when you're charged with a crime? Chat not buzzing today. What's up with this chat? Weak chat. All right. When you get charged with a crime, you get an attorney. There you go. Obsidian said it. You got a lawyer. They can't talk to her now. She has a lawyer. She has a lawyer assigned to her. Just because the case is dismissed, she still has that attorney. They can't talk to her. Before she was charged with that bogus kidnapping charge, she didn't have an attorney. She didn't ask for an attorney either. She just wasn't cooperating. They had multiple opportunities to get bites at the apple, multiple opportunities that they could continue to ask her questions and try and talk to her. No, she was not cooperating. I get that. I get it. She was not cooperating, but she did not have an attorney. Now she has an attorney. You can never talk to her. And when I say never, people don't seem to understand. Once you get an attorney, the attorney will never agree for their client to talk to police. Never. The only person the attorney will agree for their client to talk to is the county attorney, district attorney, prosecutor if a deal has been made, some type of immunity. You'll never talk to a detective again once you get an attorney. Never. It could happen. I've had it happen. I'm not going to say it never, but I've had it happen when it's been made clear to the attorney that the person didn't do nothing wrong. And we just want to get their side of the story as to how we got to this point that the person made a false allegation against them. That's the only rare instances where an attorney allowed their client to talk to me while they were sitting there. We all understood that the client of this attorney was innocent. And all we wanted was just to memorialize their interaction with the would-be victim who ended up lying on them. We just wanted to get their side of the story just to round out the investigation. That's the only time. If the person is a legitimate suspect, like Ashlee Buzzard is, no attorney's going to allow any detective to speak to them. So because they chased this bullcrap kidnapping charge, that ship has sailed. No questioning of Ashlee. Done. It's over. Keep going.
For interrupting. There's a lag.
I mean, to say the least, it is extremely disconcerting that she's dressed a pillow up as her daughter while her daughter's missing, and she refuses to say anything to authorities. Speaking of the authorities, this is a key aspect because the audio tape that was released in court was a little confusing to most people who listened to it because she was getting angry at you for what she said was being deceitful. And I wondered if it's because the police had been discussing things with you. Can you straighten the record out about what contact you had with the police and why you had contact with the police?
Yeah, so when I first went over there, I reached out to her because I've known her years ago. So when I first went over there, it was because I thought she had a family law issue that was about to happen. So I thought, because she has another daughter that was taken away from her, and Melodee has been taken away from her in the past. So I thought it was going to be a family law issue where she...
But my thing is, right, this is my thing with this with our government, because this happens all over the country. Just as it doesn't just happen in California. It happens everywhere. You removed one child from this mother. What right does she have to have another child that stays with her? Unless you could prove that this mother has done every single thing that society requires to prove that she's a safe person to have a child around, why would you allow her to have Melodee? You said that Jane Doe, I don't know the name of the first child. I don't want to know the name of the first child. Let that child remain anonymous because this is just a circus. And not even a circus from the media. I'm talking about the mothers making this a circus by not cooperating. Whereas the media is making the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case a circus. Totally opposite in this case. The mother's making this a circus. Ashlee is. Why would you allow Melodee to suffer what you would not allow the Jane Doe other child not to suffer? Make that make sense. You said that Ashlee Buzzard was not a good mother and you removed one child, but then you allowed her to keep another one. I can say this, in New York, once you lose custody of one, you can't have any more kids. And New York is not perfect. New York has its own problems. You guys watch the news, you know. We have our own crisis in law enforcement and wokeness and conservative this and all this stuff. The cultural battle is happening in New York right now. I'm not trying to say New York is above the fray. But there's some things that some places do good and some things that some places do bad. And in New York, if they take your kid, you can't get your kid back. You can't get any kid back. Unless you go to court and you prove that you're a better person and you've made the changes and all that extra stuff. And hopefully those kids weren't adopted, because if they're adopted, it's a wrap. You can't get them back. And if you go to the hospital and give birth to another child, guess what? They're going to run your name in the system, the hospital. They're going to see that you have these issues. And then a social worker is going to come, whether you didn't call the social worker. You're trying to secretly have another kid. Social worker going to meet you in that delivery room. And once you push that baby outside of your vagina, that social worker is going to take that child away. I've seen it with my own eyes, not the taken away from the vagina. I didn't see that. But I've seen the center. It's called the Child Advocacy Center. It's down on 30th Street in Manhattan. I've been there before. They have a whole floor with nothing but newborns. It was surreal. A whole floor. This is the Child Protective Services people. This nice big building on 30th Street in Manhattan. There's a whole floor. It looked like a hospital maternity ward. A whole floor with nothing but newborns that was spirited away from their mothers as soon as they left the birth canal. Why was Ashlee Buzzard allowed to keep Melodee when the state clearly saw that she was a danger to these children? Make it make sense.
You might need help with some document preparation or something. So that's what I thought when I originally went over there. She had me come over on the second day, and after I left, I was pulled over by a detective, and he basically, told me that I need to report back anything that I learn about Melodee to the authorities. So I was compelled to do so. Let
me just finish that story because there's people saying it's very sad, and it is very sad. I'm bringing it back too so I can get the context. I will say this. Adopting children in America is very difficult. Many children go unadopted, but for some reason, infants are adopted almost instantly. And all of those children usually spend less than 2 to 3 weeks there before they're adopted or placed with family members. So if it's not a situation where they're going to take all the rights away from the mother forever, those kids usually find themselves with family members. And in the instances where the parents have no hope of ever getting the kids back, they are instantly adopted. People want babies. Once you get past that baby stage, difficult to get adopted. But those babies, they never go unadopted. They either go with family or they're adopted instantly. So don't be too sad for them. All of them find a home. They all find a home. They don't grow up in the system from infant. They all find a home. Let's keep going.
Preparation or something. So that's what I thought when I originally went over there. She had me come over on the second day, and after I left, I was pulled over by a detective, and he basically, told me that I need to report back anything that I learn about Melodee to the authorities. So I was compelled to do so. I work in the field, so if I get, either a direct or indirect order from a law enforcement agent or a judge or someone, I'm going to comply. So I did. She started getting paranoid about everything that she was telling me. And then she built up in her head. I mean, I'm in my office right now. She built up in her head that I'm not a paralegal, that I'm not a legal document assistant, that I'm not a process server, that I don't have an office. So she was basically saying that I was lying, that she can't trust me, that I'm going to go to jail for fraud because I'm pretending to have an office, and that basically I was working as an undercover police officer. So that's right, what you were hearing in that.
Well, but she was right. You were working in conjunction with the police. Now, whether she was delusional about all that other stuff, because I think that is his profession. He is those things that she believed that he wasn't. She was right about the fact that he was working with the police. He was. Let's keep going.
Illegal recording, by the way. I didn't authorize to be recorded, nor did I know I was being recorded. But that's partially what you were hearing is basically her just having a paranoia meltdown.
But it's interesting for us to learn that the police pulled you over to say, we need your help because this woman won't talk to anyone, but she talked to you. It's
right. So she was 100% correct. You came in that house for the purpose of getting her to make admissions and to basically tell on herself. She wasn't wrong about that. She was spot on. So you said the police stopped you and said, "Can you do this for us?" And you said, "Okay." And then immediately when you left the home, you went and met with the detective. So you were operating as a police informant. I feel kind of funny talking about this because I'm not against this guy. I'm not against anybody who wants to find what happened to Melodee, but let me make it make sense for you. I believe in justice and true justice. I don't believe in entrapment or making stuff up to get people arrested. I feel like that's an affront to our Constitution, you know? And yeah, you know, if we're playing games like that, then you lose me. To me, our Constitution and being just is more important than everybody. It's more important than myself. It's more important than Melodee. If we start cutting corners in order to get bad guys, then we lose who we are. We no longer are the constitutional democracy that we are. We become a banana republic. And if we could start doing it on a small level with people who have no power like Ashlee, what ends up happening when it starts escalating and goes up the chain and now our government starts doing it to all of us? So I am very wary about abusing police power, abusing the power of the government. And so, yeah, I'm a little turned off. I'm a little turned off because I don't believe these charges that were lobbied against her. And I think that they distracted from the mission, which is to find Melodee. But guess who else doesn't believe it either? A liberal, super woke judge in California did not believe it either. I don't believe it. The judge didn't believe it. And now Ashlee is free. There's something, it's not about getting it. It's how you get it. It's not just about getting it. It's how you get it. You have to get it with integrity. You have to get it with morals. You have to get it in a just and a fair manner. You have to get it within the confines of the Constitution. Otherwise, it's worth nothing because nobody is worth more than the Constitution. Not me, not you, not Melodee. The Constitution is everything. Let's keep going.
I wanted to just recap really quickly. You mentioned that she's got an older daughter who's 22 years old who was taken away from her?
Yeah, roughly 22, give or take. Early 20s, I do believe. Her name is Destiny. And if you're watching Destiny, sorry for saying your name. Yeah, so I knew her when she was little as well. And she was taken away when she was little because, you know, Ashlee's had mental health struggles since I've known her. So that contributed to Destiny being taken. And I'm not sure what happened with Melodee the first time around, but, you know, she was, that is what it is. And that's what I thought was happening this time. I didn't think when I first made contact that Melodee was actually...
Sorry for interrupting. Has Destiny been helpful at all in trying to talk to her mother, or will her mother speak to her daughter, Destiny?
I have no idea if Destiny has tried to reach out. If she hasn't, I can't blame her. But Ashlee herself has said that she would rather Melodee be in a group home or foster home than to be anywhere near either side of her family.
Wow. Okay, a couple of other big questions. She was asking on the audio tape for her keys. She wanted you to, quote, give her her keys back. What did that mean?
So a few days prior, she actually had me go make copies of her house keys and her storage keys, which those are the two places that were raided. She wanted me to bring them back to her that night because she thought I kept the originals versus the copies. But she was prepping to be arrested for Melodee's disappearance. So she wanted me to have copies of her keys. So once she's arrested, I can come empty out her storage in her house so she doesn't lose all of her belongings.
Okay, speaking of...
So, like, even she is, like, expecting to be arrested, but that arrest is not happening. Like, even she's expecting to be arrested, but it's not happening.
belongings. We've been watching multiple occasions where she's packing, well, she's receiving flat boxes, then she's carrying what looked to be packed boxes out to a waiting vehicle, and then eventually, in another video, out to a U-Haul truck. Appliances, moving boxes. Do you have any idea what's...
Hold on here. Like, we'll go back, but I want to ask you to chat a question. Did I miss it? Did they say anything about these box cutters and stuff that she had and was threatening him with? Because that's like a big part of his allegations. So I don't understand why we haven't spoken about that yet. They haven't even gone into detail as to what happened. Like, they glossed over it. I don't know. This is not the best one for Ashlee, man. You know, I know she watches my show every day. You know, I speak to her every morning. We debrief each other like, hey, Ashlee, what are you talking about today? Okay, I'm going to react to your video. I'm just lying. Let me stop playing. Somebody's going to believe me. Like, yo, I heard you speak to Strategic every day. No, who is that guy? I don't know that guy. I'm Ashlee Badfield. Who is that guy? I don't know. This is not her best. This is not her best interview. Like, I expected more detail. Like, what do we got going on here? Like, did I gloss over? Because I'm a talkie. I like to talk a lot. I bloviate. Did I say something and gloss and did not catch them talking about this box cutter? Because that's huge, right? So let me know in the chat if they spoke about this box cutter and I missed it. Let's keep going because I want to hear about the box cutter.
A U-Haul truck, appliances, moving boxes. Do you have any idea what's in those boxes, Tyler?
Yeah, it's all of Melodee stuff. All those boxes were ordered from Walmart. I was there when she was ordering them.
Oh.
She's claiming.
All right, I'm gonna go back one more time to give it the context. So people in the chat are saying that, yeah, the box cutter was just on the table. She wasn't using it to threaten him. Okay. That's what he said. I got multiple people saying that. I don't want to know the older daughter's name. I think I heard when he said the older daughter's name, but I don't want to rehash it. I don't want to say it. Like I said, I want to keep her out of it. So the box cutter, so we know that she's moving. She's been moving for like a month. We've seen pictures of her going into our house with moving boxes. We've seen that for weeks. We see her go, pictures, videos of her going into our house with moving boxes. And the box cutter's on the table. So what do you got to say now, Aki? Now I'm bringing the smoke to my own sister. What do you got to say now, Aki? Because you thought she had a box cutter in her hand and was threatening him. Like I told you folks, man, you got to believe in the system. You have to believe in a system to a certain degree. I know the system often fails us because we're humans and human beings are a part of the system. But you got to believe in the system. The prosecution had their opportunity to present their evidence. This was a preliminary hearing. This was just a hearing to present facts. The evidence that the prosecution and Mr. Tyler brought forward was so lacking, it could not even pass the evidentiary stage. Do you guys know how low the burden is to pass the evidentiary stage? The evidence was so lacking that a judge said, I cannot in good conscience allow this to go to a jury. It would be a miscarriage of justice. It would be an affront to our Constitution if I let this go past me to a jury because what you have shown me is bunk. Bunk. For this to be dismissed on a preliminary hearing basis means that there was no evidence that Ashlee Buzzard held this man hostage at knife point. Aki says, well, I don't like how she recorded him conveniently. Well, you don't like the fact that she was smart and protected herself? That doesn't mean she's a good person. Doesn't mean she's not a murderer. Doesn't mean that she's not a trafficker. Doesn't mean she's not all of the things that we all pray we could get her arrested for and hopefully find Melodee alive safely. But in this instance, she was smart. Maybe she was smart because he's not that smart. She obviously could read right through him and see that he was a government informant. So she protected herself. Thank God she did, so that she would not be falsely arrested. Because whether she's an evildoer or a good guy, I don't want people falsely arrested. This is not a lynch mob. We live in America. We believe in justice. We believe in free and fair equal treatment. If you think she should be falsely arrested, you're not American. And I'm not talking to my sister right now. She'll get mad at me. I'm saying that in general. You cannot agree with our system when it works for you. It has to work all the time to be a good system, to be a fair system. She did something to her daughter. We will figure that out. What they did to her was unethical and unconstitutional. They falsely arrested her because they knew they had nothing. They knew they had nothing. And then they fed us these false allegations through the media that she had a knife and was threatening him and not letting him leave. And then we listened to the recording and he's like, I would really like to go. And she's like, all right, but make sure you leave my keys on the table. And since you're leaving in a negative way, make sure you leave my keys. I'm disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in you. And then you see them walking, tap, 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 tap. You hear with her little boots, tap, 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 with her little boots. And then you hear snap, 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 snap. Door open and she leave. Where's the crime there? It's all good till they start coming for you. Yeah, go get the bad guys any means necessary, violate people's rights, lie on them, make stuff up. It's all good till it's your daddy they coming for. It's all good till this day. It's your mama, your son, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife that they coming for. We protect people like we protect monsters, possibly, allegedly, monsters like Ashlee Buzzard, not for them, not because we like them. We protect them from a tyrannical system so we could protect ourselves. So we could protect ourselves. And Aki, you getting on my nerves. I'm not going to lie to you. You getting on my nerves.
Do you have any idea what's in those boxes, Tyler?
Yeah, it's all of Melodee stuff. All those boxes were ordered from Walmart. I was there when she was ordering them. She's claiming it's stuff that Melodee outgrew, which makes no sense because she was asking me if my nieces could benefit from the clothing, and my nieces are Melodee's age. So for her to say that Melodee has outgrew them, but she wants to give them to my nieces makes no sense.
You know, there's something else that she's been receiving a lot of packages at that door. Do you have any idea, other than the Walmart boxes, what she's been receiving?
She gets various things. She gets all of her food mailed to her. She gets all of her toiletries mailed to her. Her wigs are mailed to her. Her clothes. She's told me she has a shopping addiction, which I'm not sure where she gets all the money from. And that's something else. Is the last time I was there, I want to say on that Tuesday, she was deleting her Amazon account, her email account, and her bank account. She was switching.
That's what I'm going to do for Christmas. My sister pissing me off. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. She got little small feet just like Ashlee Buzzard. I'm going to buy her some Ashlee Buzzard booties. I'm going to buy her the same boots that Ashlee Buzzard wears every single day. Those little boots. I'm going to do it for real. Watch. I'm going to bring them on the show. I'm going to show you the little boots. She wear 4.5 for all y'all out there putting her business out there. She wear 4.5. I'm going to buy her those little Ashlee Buzzard booties.
That stuff because she thought it was being hacked or traced.
And a wig. Somebody find me the wig and send me the link and I'm going to buy it.
So she was freaking out about that as well.
And
all right, let's go back though.
But she wants to give them to my nieces makes no sense.
You know, there's something else that she's been receiving a lot of packages at that door. Do you have any idea, other than the Walmart boxes, what she's been receiving?
She gets various things. She gets all of her food mailed to her. She gets all of her toiletries mailed to her. Her wigs are mailed to her. Her clothes. She's told me she has a shopping addiction, which I'm not sure where she gets all the money from. And that's something else. Is the last time I was there, I want to say on that Tuesday, she was deleting her Amazon account, her email account, and her bank account. She was switching that stuff because she thought it was being hacked or traced. So she was freaking out about that as well.
And there was something about a reference made to Casey Anthony. Can you explain what comment she made about Casey Anthony?
Yes. So she said she acknowledged that people were comparing her to Casey Anthony, but she joked and was like, well, at least I'm not out partying. So you're not out partying, but look what Casey Anthony was accused of. Do you not realize what you just said?
Damn.
And like,
did she ever say, Tyler, that I didn't kill Melodee? I mean, did you ever ask her point blank, is Melodee alive or dead? Did she ever say one way or the other?
Good question.
No, I did ask her, and I flat out told her. I believe it was on either that. So this all happened with her locking me in on that Wednesday, I believe. And I think it was on that Tuesday that I had asked her. I go, everyone is saying, I go, you're still not giving me the full truth. I go, you're not talking to law enforcement. Everyone is saying that you either trafficked Melodee or you killed her. I go, which one is it?
Right.
And she starts doing her fake crying, acting like she can't believe that I asked her such a question.
Okay.
But she never.
But she wouldn't answer.
She never answered the question.
The things that she did tell you, Tyler, I was just going to say the things that she did tell you about this couple she met at the zoo with whom she dropped Melodee in Utah, doesn't have their phone, doesn't have their email, doesn't have their names, doesn't have contact information, but that it was all planned for a minor surgery, which, as you've said, was an outpatient surgery.
Yeah.
Do you believe any of it?
I don't believe any of it. I think, like, I don't believe any of it at all. And just to clarify, she kept saying, how do you know I left her in Utah? She didn't say she dropped her off in Utah. So that's very distinguishable. She didn't say I dropped her off with a couple in Utah. She said, how do you know I left her in Utah? So that's distinguishable. But then she like switched the subject as if she never even said that. So, and it's one of those things with her, you don't want to try to like interrogate her and keep going on that subject, because then she'll say like she's upset or that she's getting triggered. She loved that word, triggered. So with someone like that, you don't want to upset them or trigger them, especially if you're in their house.
Tyler, you're the only person who's spoken with her. I mean, she won't speak with the police. She won't speak with Melodee's grandparents on the paternal side. We have no idea if she's spoken with her own mother. Do you know if she's spoken with her own mother?
I know she has not, and she wants nothing to do with her mother at all.
Well, being the only person who Ashlee Buzzard has spoken with, particularly about this little girl, Melodee, do you believe that Melodee is alive?
Oh, boy.
That's such a tough question, because I don't want to believe that she could have hurt Melodee at all, because I think that she does love Melodee in her own way. But the fact that she won't give me a clear yes or no answer makes me extremely uncomfortable. So I can't say one way or another, but I think that she should have been found by now if she was alive. Right.
Tyler, I cannot thank you enough for being so candid, for talking with.
All right. Decent interview, man. I think we learned a lot. Big shout out to Ashlee Banfield for getting this interview. Big shout out to this guy, Tyler, for coming up and speaking to Ashlee and telling us his experience with this woman. I think I believe most of what he said. I don't have any reason not to believe it. If evidence comes out that it's not true, then okay, it's not true. But I think for the most part, I think he was pretty much honest about his interaction with her in terms of her story, of what she did with Melodee, etc. The credibility issues with me comes with this whole kidnapping thing. But at the end of the day, we're not in that room. So, I think preliminarily we can take his word for it until more information may come out that either bolsters what he's saying or disproves it. It is what it is. But certainly we're no closer to figuring out what happened to Melodee. We're no closer. Okay, let's go to this next exhibit we have here.
So shocking to me.
This is going to be the family members talking.
And that my granddaughter is dressed in a disguise. This is just so overwhelming. It's just so really scary. You need to tell him where the baby is. You need to tell him who's setting all these things up for you. I know you're not doing it.
All right, before this actually starts, big shout out to everybody who's watching. Number one, M. Rachel 4206 gave us a $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. She said, good morning. Happy holidays, Strategic. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and being kind to us and showing us the love, man. We do appreciate that. I think I missed one. Let's see here. Fan funding. Nope, I got everybody, man. Appreciate that. Also, we have 322 people watching this live stream right now. It's a lot of people. If we could get those likes up, we would appreciate it. Like I said, this is not one of our more popular topics that we're covering. Everybody's kind of like focusing on David, D4VD. There's a lot of traction going on over there. And we stayed on top of that. So please go watch our D4VD David playlist if you want all the newest things that's going on with that, all the drama that's happening with TMZ, etc. We covered all of that. But now it's time to cover Melodee Buzzard, because we can't forget about Melodee, because Melodee is still missing. And the only way that that's going to get into the algorithm is if you guys hit that like button so that the algorithm can see that you guys are enjoying what we're doing here, and then say, hey, you know what? We don't care what Strategic is saying. All we care about is money. That's it. We're YouTube. All we care about is money. And it appears that his audience, who's listening to him talk about whoever, we don't care, seems to be enjoying his video. So now let's give this video to a wider audience and see if other people will enjoy it as well. Now, YouTube doesn't care what we're talking about, but hopefully the people who are out there that has never seen our show before, hopefully they'll care what we're talking about. And in the process, we'll get and bring awareness to this case, and Melodee Buzzard's name will go out there to people who probably never heard about her before, and hopefully maybe might be an infinitesimally small opportunity. Somebody might see this little girl, report her to the police, and maybe we could bring her home safely. So we're trying to give a voice to the voiceless, but we can't do it without your help and without your assistance. Let's keep going.
As the search for her 9-year-old daughter continues, a brand new video shows mom Ashlee Buzzard may be on the move. In a video obtained exclusively by News Nation and broadcasted on Banfield, our friend Ashlee Banfield's show, you see this. You see Ashlee Buzzard carrying out of her home boxes and appliances and loading them up onto a U-Haul in her driveway. There's still no update, though, on the whereabouts of her daughter, Melodee. But Ashlee did go to court last week. Here's more from Scripps News reporter Crystal Bermudez, who was there for Buzzard's hearing.
Ashlee Buzzard no longer facing felony false imprisonment charges. I'm Crystal Bermudez, your Lompoc community reporter, and I was in the courtroom Thursday morning when the alleged victim's case took the stand. The judge ultimately deciding that there wasn't enough evidence to move forward. Much of Thursday's hearing was centered around testimony from the alleged victim, Tyler Brewer, an approximately 6-minute-long audio recording Buzzard took during their conversation the evening of November 6th. A freelance paralegal and legal document assistant, Brewer told the court he first met Ashlee through a friend back in 2014 and reached out to her recently offering his help. He testified that he visited Buzzard approximately 5 times between November 1st and 6th, stating the final meeting at her home, he felt Buzzard's demeanor, body language, and tone of voice prevented him from leaving. He shared additional concerns about a box cutter being located on a nearby table. Both sides played portions.
Right. I mean, this is bullshit. Her body language, her demeanor preventing him from leaving, and there's a box cutter that's on the table. All right, well, listen, look, first of all, let me rephrase my language. It's not bullcrap. It's not. If that's how he feels, that's how he feels. We get it, right? But that's not enough for the law to say that you're unable to leave. You need to articulate to the law that you made an attempt to leave and the person prevented you from leaving physically. That's just how that goes, you know? It is what it is. We get these cases all the time. I'm not going to go into it. It would probably require its own show because I have to go into great detail, so I'm not offending anybody. But we get these cases all the time where people feel a certain way on the inside, but what they put on the outside is different. And then people do things to them, believing that they have consent to do it because what they're receiving from body language is consent. And then the person's like, no, I didn't consent. I really didn't want to do it. Well, why didn't you? Let's not even go into that. But you guys know what I'm saying, man. These things are very delicate. And what you feel may not jive with the actual law and the things that the legislatures have put into the law that trigger certain illegalities. Complicated stuff.
Of the audio recording in court, while it was played for everyone to hear, we were not allowed to film any portion of the hearing. The prosecution argued the video documented the moment Brewer said he tried to leave her home. Brewer tells me he didn't know he was being recorded. I spoke with him about it over the phone following Thursday's hearing.
Now I understand why she was saying things and doing things the way she was doing it, because she was being recorded.
The defense argued the recording did not support Brewer's earlier statements, including that Buzzard prevented him from walking out of the home.
She had the tone, demeanor, and the audio recording of the conversation between the two.
I caught up with Buzzard leaving the courthouse during a break in her hearing.
Ashlee, can you give any comments into Tyler's testimony today and pleading not guilty?
She did not respond. A key moment Thursday came when Detective Thomas Brownlee testified that statements Brewer made immediately after the November 6th incident didn't align with the recording he found on Buzzard's phone following her arrest or the statement Brewer later posted online.
Tyler Brewer told him on November 6th and how it reflected on the November 6th, 2025 Ashlee recording, they did not align.
All right, hold on. I want to read that real quick. This is interesting. Common Sense says, I'm confused about this case. I was on the side that Ashlee was being railroaded, but since I saw Tyler explaining the Melodee drop-off, I've become skeptical. I don't know. I was never on the side that that Ashlee was being railroaded. I think that she did something to her child. The only railroading I think occurred is this whole kidnapping thing, which was thrown out by a judge, but I have not seen any evidence that people are trying to railroad Ashlee, that she did not do something to her child. We don't know what she did to her child. Child might be alive, and we hope so. But the only person who knows what happened to that kid that we know about right now is Ashlee Buzzard. And I don't think the police is setting her up for that. I think she has the answers and she's not giving it. But let's keep going. So due to widespread public speculation surrounding an active missing child investigation, I am issuing a limited statement to ensure accuracy and to protect the integrity of the case. This is from Tyler. When Melodee was reported missing, I contacted Ashlee Buzzard solely to offer assistance in locating a missing child. I am a legal document assistant, process server, mandated reporter, and officer of the court. In the capacity, I immediately reported all concerning communication and inconsistencies directly to law enforcement. On November 6th, during an interaction at her residence, the situation escalated. Miss Buzzard became visibly distressed after sharing information she appeared to regret disclosing. A box cutter was produced by her. That's a lie. Wow. You guys believe this guy? That's a blatant lie. A box cutter on a table is not producing a box cutter. According to the law, and this guy is a person who was a part of the law, he certainly constantly touts his law credentials. To produce something in the law in America, we don't have a different language. You don't speak one English here or another English there. Legalese is legalese in America. To produce something, you have to go like this. So for him to say she produced a box cutter, I mean she took that box cutter and she presented it to him in a threatening manner. That's what that means. Having it on the table is not producing a box cutter. So that is a blatant lie in my opinion. In my opinion, that is a lie. So there we go. A box cutter was produced by her, and despite multiple requests to be allowed to exit the home, I was not immediately permitted to leave. Now, to say you were not immediately permitted to leave, we have to dissect that. What do you mean by you were permitted to leave? Did you ask for verbal? Does that mean that you had to be given verbal permission to leave for you to leave? Are you saying that something obstructed you, an obstacle obstructed you? Are you saying like the door was locked and it has one of those locking mechanisms from the inside where you need a key from the inside? That's possible. Are you saying you were physically obstructed by her person as though she stood in the way or she prevented you physically by touching you? That's a loaded term. What does it mean? I don't know. The door was secured by several locks, which delayed my ability to exit. This incident was reported to law enforcement. I am also in communication with Melodee's father, family, who share the same objective, locating her and ensuring her safety. All right, there you go.
And how it reflected on the November 6th, 2025 Ashlee recording, they did not align. And the impeachment testimony that Detective Brownlee provided may have factored in to the judge's ruling in this case.
Now, Ashlee Buzzard has not been charged in connection with her daughter's disappearance. Authorities will say that...
I want to know what that impeachment testimony was by the detective. Nobody's talking about that. I want to know what the detective testified and what he said. I want to know what he said.
She still won't cooperate. So what's going on with this mom? How can she function with her daughter missing? Some of you have been talking about how it's reminiscent of the Casey Anthony case. Well, guess who our next guest is? The beloved judge who presided over that trial. The Honorable Belvin Perry, now retired Chief Judge. Good morning to you, Judge. Thank you for coming on the show. Tell us, please, what you're thinking as you hear about this awful news of missing Melodee Buzzard, gone now for over a month.
Julie, history has taught us that in cases of this nature, where a kid is last seen with their parent and the kid suddenly vanishes, it does not have a good ending. And in this particular case, there are several red flags. You have the mom disguising identity. You have the license plate switching. You have the mom totally not cooperating. And now you have the mom leaving, getting ready to go to parts unknown, and she offers no explanation as to where her child is.
It's awful, Judge. It's awful. And you shared with us all those red flags, all the things that people watching this case are so infuriated over, that it seems that there's layers of deception here. There's also what seems like maybe some animosity or resentment, as we saw video of Ashlee Buzzard actually taking down the missing posters of her daughter, taking down the pictures so people couldn't see her.
All right, so we're going to stop this here because we kind of like covered this stuff already, and I'm running short on time. I got to go handle some business. Let's see what we got going on here. This is not a part of it here. And I was, this is Court TV, 30 minutes. All right, here we go. This is the correct one. They didn't let us know that they ended up talking about Ashlee Buzzard.
First time when we can hear her. She made a recording. I'm going to play it for you. It's quite eye-opening. That's next.
Let's go ahead.
And his daughter Melodee, but it's not.
And I just want to fast forward to the recording.
Listen.
Here we go.
Or does it sound like someone who knows exactly what she's doing?
Big shout out to Vinny Politan. We're a big fan of his as well. We just want to get to that recording so we can, get through the show because we're already over an hour and I got some things I got to do. Let's do it.
Take a listen.
And I can't trust you when you're lying. You're flat out lying. You're a really good liar. Like, Tyler. Tyler.
I'm definitely not
Tyler,
going to deceive.
Be quiet and listen, please. Look at me. Like, I'm an intelligent woman. I'm 40 years old. You deal with legal stuff. Like, who are you kidding? Tyler.
I can only give you my perspective.
Listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I understand.
And you need a reality check. If this is on media news, like news talk shows, they're going to be seeing you, they're going to be interested in you. You have to understand that I'm aware, whether you want to admit it or not, you want the attention.
Right, so I mean, they wanted me to, react to this. We have factions in the research crew that like really just F Ashlee Buzzard, and I'm with it too. But my thing is like, it's got to make sense, right? So they're like, yo, is she in her right mind or is she nuts? First of all, the beginning part of this, I don't know if she's delusional right now because I don't have the context of the conversation they had prior to when this recording started. But what she's saying right now makes sense because everything she's saying about him is true. She's saying you deal with the legal stuff. The media is involved with this. Maybe you like the attention. Did this guy not act like he's an attention person? His social media was a buzz. He's posting stuff. He's, advertising. My son's showing me his muscles right now. See, I got to hurry up and go. Good. Okay, your big sister's here. All right. I'll be up there soon. Okay, Bubba? All right. Everything she's saying about the guy is true right now. Even the fact that he wants attention. Because that's the perception I got of this guy when I was reading his posts and seeing him and all this stuff, and he's sending cease and desist to people and all this extra stuff. It was like he just wants attention. So far, it sounds like she's of sound mind. Now, that is not good for her. I'm not doing her any favors by saying she sounds like she's of sound mind right now, because that means that she's cold and calculated and that she definitely needs to do life in prison if she did something to her daughter. But she sounds like she is making sense at this moment.
There is absolutely no way in hell that you are not bipolar or have an extreme issue if you don't realize what you're doing is false advertisement. And there are real legal ramifications. I don't know how you honestly are not worried about being put in jail.
Now, when I listened to this the first time, there was them talking about money. And he said, don't even worry about the money. Now she's saying false advertisement. Now, if you go on this guy's page, I'm not saying that he is not who he say he is. But there's a lot of esoteric type stuff that I personally don't believe in, like a divorce coach, stuff like that. Like, like when the people say they'll help you with your credit stuff, I'm not saying that's what he does, because he's a very litigious person. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, these are things that I would probably not spend my money on, So, like, I don't know. Did they have a bad business deal? Does she feel like he's not providing the services that she's paying for? I don't know, because they spoke about money. And he said, she's like, yo, I'll have your money in the mail. And he was like, yo, I'm not even worried about that. Don't worry about the money. Let's keep going.
I will have to leave at this moment.
Since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I want the keys to my house.
Yeah, they're right there.
All right, so this is the first time that we hear, I want to leave at this moment. You hear a chair move like he's standing up now. We don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me. Her response is, since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I would like my keys back. Where's the kidnapping in that? Where's the threat in that? Where's the kidnapping? Where's the threat in that? You got to make it make sense, man. That's all I want. I just want things to make sense.
Right there.
Nobody else has keys, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. No one else has keys.
Tyler, genuinely, if you've been here, genuinely to help, I appreciate it. The lies are a lot. And especially if you are genuine and trying to help in your own way, you should be very concerned if they recognize you, because anyone else, like running for district, it doesn't add up. I'm not threatening you, but I'm saying, like, I'm not threatening you at all. I'm trying to help as a friend because I feel like it has to be bipolar or something. Like,
I don't know. Now it's kind of like sounding convoluted, but I really don't know the context of what they were talking about prior to the recording, because they were in there for a while. So I don't know what they're talking about. These are people who know each other, and I don't know what they're talking about, but it does sound a little out there. I don't really understand where she's going with this. But once again, I don't see, like, this is, like, have any of you people ever had a breakup or an argument with your spouse or your loved one or whatever, and the person's like, I'm leaving, and you're still saying your piece? Like, when somebody says, well, when your loved one is saying, I'm done, I'm out of here, you just say, okay, conversation over, exit mode, activate exit mode, you may leave the house now. That's what you do? Or are you still saying your piece? Well, I don't know why you always want to leave every time we have an argument. You should sit here and talk to me like a man or a woman or whatever. Let's talk this out. That's what people in relationships do. We should talk this out. You're just going to stop. Like, okay, bye-bye. All right, some of you may be like that, but most people aren't like that. He said he want to leave. She said, all right, leave my keys. And she's saying her piece. I don't see her sounding like she wants to kidnap this guy. Now, whether she sounds paranoid or not, I'm not a doctor. I don't know her baseline. Maybe she is. Maybe she's talking totally out of pocket. That makes no sense. We know the keys make sense because he admitted that she gave him her keys to her house and her storage in case she got arrested so that he would have the ability to move her stuff to safety, to storage. That's why he has her keys. So that makes sense. All this district and they're going to come for you, whatever. That may be totally out there in space, her just being paranoid and crazy. I don't know. What I'm focusing on, because we all believe that she's crazy anyway, so that's not anything new. What I'm focusing on is, are you preventing him from leaving the home? Are you threatening him with a box cutter, which we've already debunked? The box cutter was on the table, never went in her hand, never was threatened with a weapon. Is she physically preventing you from leaving? That's what I care about right now.
I don't think you're grasping the level of online things that don't make sense.
No, I understand where you're coming from. At this moment, I would like to leave. And I'm more than receptive if you want to call or text me.
How do I send you the money of the receipts for
I'm
the
not
copies?
concerned about any of that. But I'm still very receptive. Should you want to call me or text me, but I've done nothing intentionally to be deceitful.
All right, the conversation itself is...
All right, somebody said, well, most people don't record people. I actually record people all the time. All the time. I record people all the time. We have a lot of mentally ill people that we have to deal with in my line of work. And oftentimes we only meet people with appointments because obviously we deal with victims, and I don't want to be dealing with a victim who's in crisis and then somebody just pops out of nowhere like, hey, I need some service. And sometimes that happens. We work in a nondescript location that doesn't have a sign on it because we're a specialized squad. And sometimes when people who are mentally ill are victims, they'll now know where our office is at and they'll pop up. And we will record people if I'm talking to somebody and I feel like they're mentally ill or they might make allegations against me or whatever, I might record them. And that's perfectly legal for me to do that. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. We record people all the time. All the time. And I do record people in my personal life too. If somebody's acting a fool on the street, I start recording. I do that for my own protection because I'm always armed. So if somebody, bumps into me, I'm like, hey, my bad. And they're like, nah, it's your bad, and they want to act crazy. I don't reach for my gun first. I reach for my phone and I start recording. And so you can hear me trying to de-escalate. Like, yo, man, I don't want any problems. It's all good. Have a good day, whatever, because I can't fight this person. I know that. I want to see my kids over here. So anyway, man, listen, I already reacted to that audio. It's out there. I'm not going to spend the next 30 minutes reacting to it. My kids are here. I want to go spend some time for them. Today is a half a day because they're starting their Thanksgiving holiday few days off because Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So unfortunately, I love you guys, but I'd much rather go hang out with them. I want to go take my girls to go see the Running Man movie. My youngest daughter, she wants to see it in 4D where the wind blows and the water sprays on you and all that good stuff. So we do have quite a day planned for us. We had a lot of people in the room today, over 300 people. I want to thank you guys immensely for joining me today. I want to ask you one last time, please hit that like button to support the channel so we could get into the algorithm. It is what it is, man. This is a complicated case, but I definitely appreciate Ashlee Banfield getting that interview and us being able to react to it. And of course, big shout out to Vinny Politan and having that audio so we can react to that as well. Guys, I love you immensely. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace. you.